Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review I am super happy to be showing you the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic style Shredder and Foot Clan 4-pack. Doesn't actually have a Comic-Con logo on the box unless I missed it somewhere, so that's kind of interesting. You might be able to grab one later at in another way. I'm not sure about that. It's not as exclusive as the arcade 4-pack from San Diego, so that's okay. But this set is just really, really nice. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's basically the same figures we saw from San Diego. Obviously, they have some different details and stuff, but if you're familiar with those, you're going to be familiar with these. But there are some things worth noting, so that's why we're here for the review. So let's go ahead and get them off the stand and take a closer look. This set is obviously focused around Shredder. Everybody wanted this Shredder for like, what, 10 years now? Something like that. So it's very nice to finally get him. And they're all mostly the same figures, except Shredder has obviously all the Shredder stuff, but he's got the different style shirt. Other things are basically just glued on parts that are different. So once I get them all the individual things reviewed, we're just going to use one of them for the main part of the review. But we're going to do the heights first. So Shredder stands just about 17 centimeters to the top of his helmet, which makes him just shy of 6 3/4 inches. We have two of the more basic foot guys, the Foot Clan Ninjas. What are they called individually? Feet? We have one, no, they have to be called foot because that would be an anyway. We have two of these guys, which are basically the exact same. One has a headband, one doesn't, so we can just do one height measurement here. This guy is just shy, or just over 6.5 inches, which makes him just shy of 17 centimeters. And then we have one of these super Foot Clan guys, which has the hat and the cape and the armored arms, the padded arms, whatever you want to call them. So this guy stands, including his hat, a little bit over 17 centimeters, which makes him closer to, actually just a little bit over 6 3/4 inches. So he's got a little bit more height to him just because of the head thing. And also he just looks really cool. So let's talk about the differences. Like I said, this guy has the padded arms, and then he's got the different head. So he's got more of like a Shredder type mask, and he's got the cloth hanging down on the side, and this type of hat. I have no idea what you would call that, but he looks really cool, and the cape looks really nice. I'm almost positive it's the same cape as the arcade Shredder cape, just with obviously different styling. Now, one thing I keep hearing people talk about is, can I take this cape off of this guy and put it on Shredder? And the answer is yes. Carefully, but yes. The heads are on mostly a straight peg, so you can pull the head off, take the cape off, put the head back on, and then do the reverse for Shredder. So no big deal there. So that's this guy. We're going to set him aside. You saw his unique details. We talked about these guys just for a second, but these guys are the same. They just have the headband on one of them, which is just a glued-on piece. Unfortunately, because it's a glued-on piece, it's all one piece, so this is not posable. I understand why in this case it's not a separate piece that pegged in like the Turtles had for the San Diego set. So I'll let it slide this time that this isn't articulated, but it is a nice look. So we do have the two more basic foot guys. I kind of want to get a whole bunch of these guys just to fill out a shelf, but that would be unwise financially. And then of course we have the Shredder, which same basic body as the other guy, same legs and most of the same parts. We do have a little bit of a different thing here, and obviously he doesn't have the extra sleeve thing going on for his shirt part. We have the spiky things. We have the plates up here, the plates down here, and then obviously he has the spiky hands. We'll talk about hands in a second. He has the shin pads also, and of course his Shredder helmet. All very nicely metallic. I love the silver they used on him. It's very nice. It matches the rest of the comic stylings, but is still pretty nice looking. So let's move on to accessories, and then we'll talk about articulation. In terms of hands, each guy comes with fist hands on him in the package. Then of course Shredder has the two gripping hands. Both of the plain foot guys have gripping hands, and then the armored up, a little bit more fancy foot guy has a pair of gripping hands. We do also get a Krang figure, which isn't technically Krang, I suppose, but we do get Krang, and he is articulated at his front arms, so that's kind of nice. Then we have a whole bunch of weapons, which I have to say look fantastic. I love the variants in the silver and the gray and the black and the styling. It just looks so good. These are probably my favorite accessories out of any figure ever of all time. Maybe not, but they're really nice. So we have the two swords, the Naginata type staff type thing. The one with the handle and the chain. I don't know what that's called, but we have that. We have the throwing star, a basic dagger, a fancy dagger, and then that other thing, which I have no idea what it's called. It's got like the two handles sticking out and the one handle in the middle, and it looks like a slice of pizza. I don't know what it's called, but it's a real thing, and it's there, and it looks fantastic. So, lots of cool accessories. Let's talk articulation. It's going to be the same for Shredder as the other guys, except you need to be aware that these things are connected to the torso for Shredder. Luckily, the way it's sculpted, you can raise the arm and it doesn't look too bad. I still hold that any shoulder pad needs to be connected to the shoulder ball. It does not serve any benefit to be connected here, unless you're not able to do it. But they could have easily just had a peg going in the middle to connect it so that when he raised his arm, which we'll get to that in a second, the shoulder pad would have just gone over the body a little bit. So it definitely would have been better if it was connected to the actual shoulder rather than the torso. It's a little bit disappointing that that's the case. Is it a deal breaker? Hardly, because these figures are really, really good otherwise. So his other armor bits are not going to affect the articulation. So we're going to set him down and we're going to use the basic foot guy because he's the most basic out of all of them to use for the articulation. He's got a straight peg that goes into the head, which is a ball peg into the neck. So you can move the head around on top of the neck really well on that ball peg, and then it'll rotate around on that ball. That's fine. And then the neck itself can rotate, and then there's also a hinge in it, which is really stiff, but it can work. You have to find it. So right now it's squared up, and we should be able to lean it forward. Let's see. I can't do it. It doesn't want to go. It's in there, but it's very, very stiff. So maybe hit it with a hairdryer or something like that. That's not uncommon for NECA figures to be overly stiff, and in some cases a little bit loose, but the stylings in the rest of the figures more than make up for that. So just be aware you might want to hit it with a hairdryer. For the shoulders, we have our standard ball hinge. You're going to run into the shoulder pad a little bit here on this guy, or on any of them. So be aware of that. You can't rotate them around perfectly, but you can still get the arms up pretty well. And it is a ball hinge. It's incredibly stiff. I know some people were saying with the San Diego set that you couldn't bring the arms up. Well, you can. You just have to really be careful, and you can do it though. So if you want to hit it with a hairdryer, you can do that. They don't come up completely horizontally, but they come up pretty far. I think you should be able to pose them well enough like that. It would definitely be better for them to come up more, but I think that's acceptable. So you do get the shoulder articulation. You have your bicep swivel, no problem there. You have your double jointed elbow, which gives you really nice range. A little bit better than 90 degrees, and it looks pretty good in general, so I like that. You have no wrist swivel here, but obviously the hands are interchangeable, so they swivel there, and they have the hinge. These can be pretty stiff also, so you want to hit those with a hairdryer in some cases if you want to use that hinge. Now we do have a waist swivel, which is really nice. I do wish it was a ball peg. I think it would have been easy for them to make a ball peg either under or above the belt so that it had a little bit of a crunch. It doesn't. It would definitely be better, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary. Like I said, these guys, everything that's bad about them is far outweighed by the good stuff. So I guess I could be a little biased because it's Turtles, but I'm not the biggest Turtles fan, so that's up to you. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't, I guess. The skirt thing here is soft plastic, so you can bring the legs up pretty far. They aren't as tight as I would like. They can be a little bit loose on some of the figures. Some of them are tighter, some are loose, but you still get decent enough range. You can go out to the side, no problem, because that's where the split is. So no problem doing like a kick or something like that. And then you also have your thigh swivel in there, which can be stiff. Just be careful, but you can rotate it around once you do that, so that's fine. It's a full ball hinge hip. We have the double jointed knees, which give us plenty of range. No issues at all there. I like that a whole bunch. And then you have the rotation in the lower leg at the top of the wraps. And then the feet are, I think, a double ball peg. They could be a single. They definitely could have better range, but it's not bad. You can see you can get an ankle rocker out of there, so that's not too bad. Then in terms of going forward and back, it's enough. Are they the most advanced figures in terms of articulation? Definitely not. They were designed a long time ago when that Shredder first got shown, so you got to give them a little bit of slack. And here's the thing, they look great. The comic styling is super clean, the paint jobs are great, and they look really nice. So yes, some things could be better. The shoulders for Shredder definitely could be better. Maybe less tight joints and less loose joints, sure. Or I guess I should say fewer loose joints and fewer tight joints, but all in all, they're really, really nice. They're not perfect figures, but for what you're paying and what you're getting, I can't complain. I think it's a really good set, and I think you guys should pick it up if you can. They're a lot of fun to have, and I think you guys will like them. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff, so make sure you come back for that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.